Hello and welcome back to Film Smart. Our first topic of the day is how well Gone Girl is doing at the box office. So far, the worldwide total is at $59.6 million. What do you think of that, Alec?
I think it's very good. It's a good sign for David Fincher because a lot of his movies get good acclaim, but they don't make as much at the box office, and they don't always register with Oscar voters. Obviously, this is a sign that it's going to register with Oscar voters because even though they like some smaller movies, they do like some big movies too. I mean, look at Gravity, huge movie nominated for Best Picture. So this movie is it's very good. I've seen it twice already. Seen it a third, fourth, 15th time. I love this movie. It's very good.
I'm yet to see it.
Yeah, Rosamund Pike's a lot for best leading actress. Tyler Perry was good, surprisingly. We'll do a full-fledged review when we've both seen it. But anyway, the movie is very good. So this is very good for Ben Affleck. Because people are going to see this movie. Because if he was bad in this movie, he wouldn't be making this type of money. Even no matter how good Rosamund Pike is, which she does overshadow him, which she should, with her role in this movie, she should overshadow him. So he played his part well. But yeah, this is very good for the movie. It's making a lot of money. I think it broke records last Friday. Friday is in October 3rd. It broke records for October, for the beginning of October, for that weekend. So it's doing very well. So this is just good news for good films. It's going to encourage more creativity when it comes to things like this. And I really hope they make a sequel for this film. Because it needs one. But it's a very good movie. It deserves all the pennies and more. So, yeah. What's our next topic?
Okay, our next topic is that earlier this week, Latino Reviews El Mayimbe dropped a huge DC scoop on the Meet the Movie Press. It's this podcast. And here are the details. That Brainiac is to be the villain for the Justice League movie. According to what he heard, that beacon that General Zod picked up in Man of Steel was also heard by Brainiac, which brings him to Earth. What do you think?
I think it's interesting.
I think it's I don't know. If that's true, I think it's really lazy. Okay, so now we have one invasion, then we have another invasion for the same reason.
And why does everything have to be tied to Man of Steel?
Yeah, I mean, even Captain America, the First Avenger, all those movies, they aren't just the Avengers.
There's protests because of what happened to Man of Steel for Batman vs. Superman, which is in a Man of Steel sequel. And then if we're doing this, we're tying it to Man of Steel 2. It's just like, okay, there's not everything has to come out of that. I mean, it's an interesting idea because not all the other movies have done that. But I don't know, it kind of bores me. And I feel like Brainiac's more of a Superman villain. I mean, he can take on the whole team, but guess what Avengers are doing? The Ultron, who is the Marvel's version of Brainiac, basically. They're different. They are different. But at the end of the day, they're both evil robots bent on destroying worlds. So,
if you could choose anybody else, do you have any other villain suggestions?
For the Justice League? Well, I mean, obviously, I'd like to see Darkseid eventually.
Oh my god!
He can be their Thanos.
I love Darkseid so much.
Darkseid's their Thanos, their Apocalypse, whatever. I'd like to see Vandal Savage.
Yeah, another phenomenal villain.
Lex Luthor, even though he's a Superman villain, I think he's somebody that'll play a bigger role.
I would like to even see maybe like a Amanda Waller and the whole Checkmate and Argus and
I was hoping the Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah,
she'll play a big part in that. But anyway, I think Brainiac is okay. I mean, I don't know. I'm just not excited.
Yeah, that's the thing.
We were talking. I'm kind of getting tired of these announcements. All these movies are so far away, and I don't know. I hear about Shazam. I hear about this. I hear about that. I just kind of.
You need something to see. You need something
I want something tangible. I hear all these things about Star Wars, about Avengers, about James Bond, and it's just okay. It's not overwhelming. It's almost underwhelming. You hear all these different things, very little, which I don't want to hear a lot about movies, of course. But I don't know. I stopped caring at this point. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm very excited for these movies, but I get tired of hearing about all this stuff. And then when you hear unexciting news about Brainiac, I don't think anybody's excited by this.
Yeah, I like Brainiac. I really think it would fit better in like a Man of Steel 2.
And honestly, even if they said that, I wouldn't be excited. I'd be glad to see him. But the reason I wouldn't be excited is because before Batman vs. Superman was even put in the conversation, so like July of 2013, a lot of people speculated he would be the villain for the second movie or the third movie or whatever. So it's not new news if they had said that. So,
yeah, I know. Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, whatever.
Okay, our next topic is actually the second part of the scoop that Mayume dropped.
We were just talking about.
Yeah, it's the Suicide Squad film, and he actually found out what the roster is, supposedly. This is a rumor. So it goes Blockbuster, the strong man, so he's going to be like the muscle of the team. Multiplex, he's a human replicator, so I don't know exactly what he would do, but I know he's going to replicate. I think he's on the next episode of The Flash, which would be episode 2. And Jaculi, the speedster, and Mindboggler, the female telepath. Harkness, special weapons, which is also known as Captain Boomerang.
Yeah.
And Vixen, female with animal abilities, which is interesting because she's usually recognized as a hero.
She's usually on the Justice League.
Yeah. And then the most well-known is Deadshot. He's going to be the leader and the main character of the movie. Mm-hmm. And besides Deadshot, Vixen and Harkness, Captain Boomerang, are going to be the main characters. What do you think?
Well, there's 3 interesting things to me here. Vixen, I would expect her to be in a superhero thing, but they're putting her on this. I have a feeling that she's probably going to walk away from it and be put in Justice League eventually. She'll kind of be like, because she's not really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that you can change a character to make them good or bad or whatever, and she's not very iconic, so it's not like if you made Superman evil or Iron Man evil, that'd be weird. But still, I have a feeling they're probably going to redeem her, because all of these Suicide Squad characters, even though not all of them are evil, they are bad. I mean, they do bad things. There's a reason why they're on the Suicide Squad, because they're not good people. And Vixen has always been a good person, so that's interesting to me. We'll see. Another interesting thing, Captain Boomerang's in it.
Mm-hmm.
I was not expecting that at all.
Flash villain.
I also wasn't expecting when they said Harkness, because I didn't know who that was.
Yeah, I wish they would have just put Captain Boomerang at first.
But that's really interesting to me. So obviously that ties into Flash.
Yeah.
Because we have you said the multiplex.
Multiplex. He's going to be on the TV show.
Yeah. So you got some Flash villains. So obviously he's going to be introduced.
Somewhere in the DC cinematic universe. Maybe I don't think the TV shows are going to connect because they said they aren't. But
no, of course not.
Flash is already going to be in there because we're getting his villains.
Yeah, you can't connect movies to CW. But anyway,
and yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the movie, but I'm a little bit disappointed that Harley Quinn isn't in it, or even Deathstroke,
that's
or
what
KG Beast, or King Shark.
That's the only thing I don't like is Deathstroke not being on here. That just kind of bothers me because he's kind of like the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I know. When you imagine them, you imagine him kind of walking out front.
The few people who actually think about the Suicide Squad on the planet, when we do think about it, we think about Deathstroke and him not being on it. I mean, I'm sure he'll eventually be in the DC universe, but he was on Teen Titans. He'd probably be on the new Teen Titans.
Yeah.
And he's on Arrow, so he's kind of everywhere on TV.
And Arkham Origins, right?
Oh, he was on Arkham Origins. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, so he's kind of everywhere but movies. So I don't know if they're going to be thinking about putting him on. And I didn't even think about KGB Beast. I would love
KGB Beast.
Is it KG Beast?
Yeah.
Okay, KG Beast. I want to see him fight Batman, and I want to see what Batman did to him in the comics. Lock him in a room and kill him. So,
oh God,
that was cool. I mean, just the worst way you can kill somebody, let him starve. But anyway.
Yeah. Whoa.
But anyway, that is interesting that Deathstroke is not in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they put like a Catwoman on there in the future.
That'd be interesting.
Could use some more females, I think. Because
you're right.
Vixen the only girl?
No, and there's Mindboggler, the female telepath.
Oh, yeah. So very recognizable heroes, as you can see. So yeah, they need a little bit more. Then maybe a Catwoman could give them some star power as far as character. Because to be honest, nobody knows any of these characters. I mean, out of the names you just said, the only one I recognized was Vixen and Captain Boomerang, I think. Oh, Deadshot.
Yeah, but Deadshot, he's huge.
To the public, nobody knows any of these characters.
And they don't care.
And they don't care.
I mean, you could say the same thing for Guardians, but Guardians had Marvel behind it.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So, we'll see. I'm excited about Suicide Squad. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like there's more power on this one.
What, than like some of the other ones?
Yeah, like the one they had on Arrow was... Nobody was like...
super dangerous.
Super,
yeah, there was nobody with superpowers.
Like there's people on here that could potentially take on.
Yeah, she's a telepath.
Yeah, like they could take on. Like
Vixen she's really dangerous.
So yeah, we'll see. So I'm tentatively excited, but I wish Deathstroke, KG Beast, Catwoman, characters like that were on here. Not so sure about Vixen. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. All right, our next topic is that once again, a rumor has surfaced that SpiderMan may be joining the Avengers. in the next couple of years,
This
not
coming
Avengers 2.
From several sites, and it's Entertainment Weekly was the most trustworthy. That's the only reason why we're talking about it, because if it wasn't from Entertainment Weekly,
we wouldn't even.
There's a couple sites we'll look at: Entertainment Weekly, Variety, the Wrap. So yeah, there's only a couple things that we'll look at. It's interesting. They say in the next few years there might be an agreement. I'm also hearing stories like that if Sinister Six bombs, that Sony will just give them Spider-Man, which I don't think is true.
Yeah, oh man. Even if all of the movies started bombing, they wouldn't just give him Spider-Man.
They would probably work out an agreement.
Sony is hemorrhaging money.
Yes.
They got to do everything they can to make money.
I guarantee you that at some point Sony will have an agreement with Marvel. Of course. Fox will too. At some point. Remember, at some point might not be in your lifetime. So, we'll see. Yeah. It'll probably be in ours. But if you're 80 years old, might not be in yours. But they will be doing... actually I have a feeling it probably will be in an 80-year-old's lifetime. Because I think Sony is a sinking ship. I don't think Sony's just going to give up Spider-Man. That's their moneymaker. They have him and James Bond.
I think
so.
He might be. Yeah, he would be better off with the Avengers. Sony would keep receiving money for letting them use him in those things or whatever, instead of having movies that may or may not bomb because there's some Spider-Man fatigue. Even though the movie made $700 million.
There's been It's been 12 years since the first Spider-Man. 5 movies. 2 or 3 TV shows. And I think with the box office with Amazing Spider-Man 2, a movie they were expecting to make upwards of $900 million, and it made 700, which is a lot of money, but it made less than the first one. So it got along that with bad reviews, along with I think Spider-Man fatigue. A good reinvention of Spider-Man would be putting him in Avengers. Now, whether you want to do that with Andrew Garfield and try to explain, it's going to be very hard to explain how it's connected because you're going to have to go. All of the Spider-Man stuff took place before it, or all of it took place after it. But why don't they mention each other? Why did none of the Spider-Man movies mention? Nobody would be surprised by Spider-Man because they'd be like, okay, there's other superheroes too. They'd be surprised, but they wouldn't be like,
the Amazing Spider-Man,
a superhero. Oh my goodness, I've never seen one of those. And same thing goes for Avengers. They would be amazed, of course, if they saw Thor and Hulk and Iron Man, whatever. But there still would be a certain amount of, we've seen a superhero before. It's not unbelievable. It's surprising, but it's not. We're not gonna have a heart attack. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I would like Spider. Obviously, it's everybody's dream to go see all of them together. Fantastic Four, X-Men, Avengers, and Spider-Man all join up. Guardians, Inhumans, everything all join up. But that's not going to happen anytime soon. Again, it'll probably happen in most of our lifetimes. Even an 80-year-old, I think, will end up seeing Spider-Man and Avengers. At some point, I think there is going to be an agreement where Spider-Man is in Avengers. I think it's a lot more possible now. Before Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out, I would have not have thought this. But now that Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out and was garbage and did not make as much money as the first one did, it really deserved a lot less. It didn't deserve a penny. Not mine. And
man, I wish I'd get my money back.
I tell you, if I could erase that movie from my memory, I would. I probably can't. I think are there mind eraser things?
Yeah, it's like I'm getting a headache.
They need a Winter Soldier me from
thinking about it.
They need to electrocute me because I can't watch that thing.
Oh man, that's garbage.
Remember that scene where the Winter Soldiers, do that and they make them forget? They need to do that to me. Erase that. I mean,
oh man, they should show that just to torture people. Oh my gosh!
So bad.
Watch that scene with the German doctor over and over again.
And then, along with this story, Venom might be canceled, and don't care. So,
yeah, I was gonna say.
I like Venom, but whatever.
I think I'm really beyond. I don't think I'll ever really care about Spider-Man as long as he was Sony anymore.
And then with Sinister Six, I was excited for, but then I was like, well, the Rhino was garbage. Green Goblin was rushed, and I didn't like him. I like Dane DeHaan before he became the Green Goblin. After that, that was so out of character.
Yeah, he was all like...
I wanted for his dad to be Green Goblin, which maybe is still a possibility. I wanted an older Green Goblin. I didn't like the young one. Chris Cooper looked more like the part of Green Goblin. I feel like he's a better actor. I mean, Dane DeHaan's a good actor, don't get me wrong, but I think Chris Cooper has an Oscar nomination. So, and I think just an older Green Goblin would just work better. But can't have everything, I guess, especially when it comes to Spider-Man. But we'll see what happens with that tank. Marvel does not need Spider-Man. Spider-Man needs Marvel.
Yep.
And that's important to keep in mind because Spider-Man a few years ago was far more well known than Iron Man. Iron Man made $1.2 billion dollars last year. Spider-Man made 700 something. So.
Okay. Our final topic today is that there is a Lego Batman movie in the works. Ever since that huge success that was the Lego movie, Warner Brothers, I guess they thought, hey, Batman was so popular, so how about we give him the spinoff? I mean, there's other ones like Lego Ninjago or whatever.
Yeah, and there's
which nobody cares
other
about.
Ones. I mean, honestly, does anybody else care about? The only ones I care about are Emmett and Batman.
I wanted if they wanted to do a spinoff, I wanted a Lego Justice League. Oh my gosh!
We got the first Justice League movie with this one, and Star Wars reunion. It was just crazy. But I'm excited. I really liked Batman in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's very exciting. Will Arnett was really funny, doing the voice and everything. So we'll see what happens if they'll bring Emmett or them in. If they'll bring in Batman's supporting cast, with Catwoman and Joker and Robin and Oracle and whatever, Penguin. We'll see what happens. I'm assuming it'll be somewhat similar to the video games.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, well, the video games used to go by the movies. Now that they're their own thing because they've gotten past that. So I wonder if they'll do a Lego video game based off the Dark Knight trilogy. It'd be pretty dark. But we'll see what happens with this movie. It's exciting though. It's the first one I've cared about. I didn't care about Ninjago. I mean, yeah, they can make it funny, but I can't laugh at everything. So we'll see what happens. I know we've been very pessimistic today, but
yeah. Well, whenever you talk about Sony, you have to be.
Yeah. Whew. Again, we've managed to bring that movie up.
I really do have a headache just from talking about it.
Yeah. Okay. Was there anything else?
Nope.
All right. And with apologies from Mark Webb. With apologies to Mark Webb. Yes.
It's just such a bad movie.
Okay. With apologies to Mark Webb, as always, stay film smart.